It is. So the employee pricing back right now. Enjoy massive savings, 0% interest rates on approved credit in your next purchase. So the Mainline Chrysler, new king of trucks, worth the drive every time. Eric, we talked about it at the start. Oilers, the Golden Knights were chasing them all game. It was like Bizarro World, wasn't it? Like by the end of the third period, Vegas looks tired, and they're just like, oh, can we play with these guys? And they were the team that's deep. They have all the names. What do you see in that game one, and what's confused you?
You know what? I'll tell you, I'll start with a stat that I don't know if it confuses me, but it says a lot about what you're talking about. Like Zach Hyman this year, maybe you saw his stat. Zach Hyman this year averaged 0.7 hits a game. Like he can be a physical guy if he wants, and but 0.7 hits a game, that's not a lot, but it's enough. But in the playoffs, he's averaging almost 8 a game, and it just speaks to the elevated consciousness of knowing that when you're going to play in a series against what I think is the biggest team in the National Hockey League, Vegas, you're going to have to keep doing that. Now, he did obviously most of that in the first round, but that's the style of play I think the Oilers are trying to employ. They're trying to be grittier. Everyone says they're one-trick ponies. They've got 2 guys and Bouchard, and then a whole bunch of question marks. It's funny how many question marks have come up with answers of late. But generally speaking, the team play, everyone said they were too slow. They weren't going to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
It was pretty amazing. I agree with you. That was the shocker in that game. What isn't surprising is that the Oilers fell behind early and came back and won. That's an NHL record, 5 straight playoff comebacks to win games. And as someone who lives on the south side, the proper side of Alberta, you're so well versed in the Oilers falling behind, and you just kind of shrug and you turn off the game and you say, I know how this is going to end. I'll see the result in the morning. They always come back. They always pull it off, especially when it comes to overtime. They're the best team in an era in terms of scoring in the extra time. So not surprised they came back, but I'm surprised with the way they did it, I guess.
The comment I would make about the Oilers, and sorry, Ms. Francis, they don't have me on the screen. They've got a blank spot there. And
no, this isn't the right one.
That isn't the right one? Okay, all right.
I can see what you're wearing.
Thank you. I switched from my Jets jersey in the first hour to this one in the second hour. Is the way they've played defense, the way they've played a team defense, both against LA and now we saw it last night against Vegas. I think that's the point I take away from the Oilers is they've changed their model of playing defense and are much more structured than we saw them before. Yeah.
Like I give him credit. Look, I think that coach is so underrated. Certifiable genius, the quiet assassin. Like he's just so smart, He comes up with so many great schemes and subtle changes that most of us don't even notice. I give him a ton of credit for the way they've altered their play somewhat as they've entered the playoffs and also down the stretch as well. I got a lot of good things to say about their coach.
Calvin Pickard, Team Canada, right? He's still in the running for Italy. He's getting
and the
it
Conn
done.
Smythe.
Although the first little bit of that game yesterday, I'm like, aha. And then he wins again. It's just like, hey, Leafs and Panthers. That's another one. I know nothing about the NHL playoffs this year. It's very clear. Absolutely nothing. Because, is Toronto going to take both at home tonight? How do you see that game? That game one, I don't think it's an elbow to the head. I said yesterday it was a brush. I think it was the shot that it gives Stolarz a concussion. You travel a lot. I equated it to when the guy's walking down the aisle and hits your head with his backpack and just kind of, you just shake it off, right? What do you think there,
Eric? What a great pull that is. Oh my God. I want to punch every person who gets onto a plane with a backpack on. It's just...
I carry it in front of me. Maybe I'm the weirdo, but I carry it in front of me when I'm walking down the aisle.
You got to carry it in front. Yeah.
Oh, no, I love the people who wear it like it's intended to wear, and every time they want to look and turn any way, their entire body has to move, which means that their backpack smacks someone in the face and they're completely oblivious to it. I love that.
Or the young lady that's got the Stanley. in the backpack, and then that tin hits you in the head.
Yeah, and they're oblivious to it. Oblivious.
Anyways, get back on track.
No, I want to go one step further. How about the people that are pulling their Samsonite out of the top, and they're not strong enough or not ready for the fact that they've got 14 rocks in that bag. And I've seen it land on people's heads, and I can't believe fights haven't started. Like, if you're not, here's a little tip in life, I would say, or a little rule to live by. If you're not strong enough to lift your suitcase above your head, you've probably packed too much, and you should probably check that bag.
I think that I think you get a pass though if you're over a certain age. I always help the elderly people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
I help the elderly people. Do you want to? This is going to go sideways. Who cares? The last time that I was pulled in to customs in the Regina airport, when you come in and you kind of like, and then they said, "Oh, that line over there, they're going to go through my bag." I had a carry-on. This is back when we go to Phoenix a lot. All I took was a one carry-on. It was a Regina Pats OGO. They gave it out at the golf tournament. So there was like 144 of these in the city. So I grabbed it. I go in the back and I'm like, oh, do I got it? Like, I think I probably brought back maybe a log for the fellas or whatever, something like that. I didn't have any booze because you can't. And I'm like, I'm all good in here, I think. I open it up. All of a sudden there's nylons. There's like a blouse. It smells like liniment, like your Jets jersey does. And I'm like, this isn't my bag. This is somebody that's older than me.
Oh my.
So then I'm like, they come in and I'm like, this ain't my bag. And they're like, yeah, sure, buddy. And I'm like, listen, same bags I gave them out at the golf tournament. I'm not the kind of guy that wears nylons and this kind of stuff here. So then they
Put this clip on the gram.
Called the lady. Sure enough, she got home. It took her about an hour. Brings mine back. By then, they didn't even check me. They didn't want to work overtime. They were like, so yeah, the bag. That's my bag story.
Were good.
That's my bag story.
That's amazing. I didn't know you wore nylons. That's incredible.
Yeah. Just when I golf. So you'll see that when we go home.
Yeah. What was the original question?
The elbow to the head.
Oh yeah, Sam Bennett. Look,
if it wasn't Sam Bennett, nobody talk about it.
Agreed. Yeah. I think there's a faction of people who think that the damage was done when he took the puck to the head, like minutes, 10 minutes earlier, or whatever the case was. I have a hard time believing a puck to the head can give you a concussion. I guess it can. I mean, but that was part of it. I think it was maybe a combo between that and the hit from Bennett. I think his reputation precedes him on this one. Look, those guys won a Stanley Cup together. I'm not saying that precludes you from taking a guy out, but it didn't look that bad to me. And I agree with you. If it wasn't Sam Bennett, there wouldn't be wanted posters in the TTC today for Sam Bennett. I mean, that's where it's gotten to. So, and I loved his comments. I doubt we got the clip ready here or anything. I probably should have prepped you, but I thought his clip was great. He's like, look, Stoley's a good friend of mine. I reached out to him. I'm sad that he went to the hospital. He said all the right things, and I believed him. I thought it was pretty genuine.
I don't think Bennett tried to hurt him, but he didn't try to get out of the way either. No.
It's
a playoffs.
But it's playoff.
We would all have done the same thing.
Who tries to get out of the way? Nobody does in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But again, if that's Reinhart, we don't even talk about it.
Is there a if you could interview one coach current in the NHL and just let it fly, would it be Paul Maurice? Would it be John Cooper? I just think Paul Maurice is the best.
Oh, I think he's the most intelligent coach in the National Hockey League. I mean, I think he's great at giving answers. He's great at evading answers. He's great at providing entertainment. He's a Stanley Cup winning coach. What's not to like about Paul Maurice? If you were starting a franchise tomorrow and you could pick any coach in the National Hockey League, I'm taking Paul Maurice every single time. I don't know about you guys, but yeah.
You just said Knobloch was a genius.
Yeah, but he's still not Paul Maurice. Knobloch is, a quiet genius,
Yeah.
He's the one at the back of the library. He's the one at the back of the library, studying up on schemes and everything, and not saying anything to anybody. Someone had to discover him, but Paul Maurice to be at the front of the library, letting you know he's the smartest guy in the room, and not in a pompous way, just by talking.
Yeah. Just by carrying the communication that he does. He does a great job of communicating. I think when you watch him on the bench, and you can use all the swear words that he uses, but he gets his message across, and his players want to play for him because his message is clear, and I think that's one of the strengths of Paul Maurice.
Yeah, and I think he's been there and done that. And I know he hadn't won a cup before, but, the guy's been around. Doesn't he have the most wins amongst active coaches? I think he does right now.
I think so, yeah.
And with that, you're buying the faith of your players. Like, if you're a player and you're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, well, guess who's the problem in the room? You, the player, if you're not buying into what Paul Maurice has to say. So, yeah, I think the world of him. I even love what he said last year at the end of the year about Winnipeg, and he hopes Winnipeg wins it. I just thought that was so great. I can't say enough good things about him. And by the way, that series is not over. You kind of alluded to it before. No. Are they going to get swept at Toronto? Hey, they might. I don't know, but they're not losing this series in 4 straight. They're not going to go quietly. I was shocked, like you were, that I thought after what I saw in the first round, if you could just re-pick all of your brackets, I would have changed and said, no, Florida's the winner right now.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, I'll have a new one as well. So who knows what it is.
Yeah, I'm very bad at picking anything.
You're having a tough year.
No
You're
way
having a
around
tough
it.
Playoff, yeah.
Speaking of the Jets and this series, sounds like Scheifele is going to be in tonight. We were both on Dallas last year. Dallas done. Who's in for Dallas? It sounds like
Robertson.
Kenny Reeb said?
Robertson.
Robertson's in. What do you make of this series, Eric?
Well, it looks like everyone except for Heiskanen is going to come back tonight. At least that's what it's looking like at this point in time. Man, it's going to be a great series. I mean, I still think the world of Dallas and the depth they have, and getting Robertson back is huge. Rantanen, maybe the hottest player, certainly over the last 3 games anyway, in the playoffs. I still think Dallas wins this series, but I'm fascinated to see the goaltending matchup, right? Like, Ottinger at times has been, I thought he was phenomenal in the first round. I look back, 3 years ago or whatever, when Calgary played him, and it was the best goaltending performance I've ever seen in my life in a series. He had like a .960 save percentage against the Flames until Johnny Gaudreau roofed that goal in Game 7 of overtime. But Ottinger, to me, is world class. Obviously, Hellebuck is, but is he? Can he be counted on to be that guy throughout this whole series? That to me decides the series. If he's the Hellebuck they had all season long, yeah, they can win this series. If he's not, obviously, I think Dallas will win.
I agree. I think Hellebuck's going to be the difference. I think Hellebuck, the goaltending is going to be the difference.
He's the X factor.
Yeah, he's the difference.
He's the X factor. Just like, am I going to hit my driver straight today, or I don't know. I got a new driver, tailor-made, brand new. Going to hit it tomorrow. Okay, last question for you. Calgary, the Matt Coronado deal. Like that deal? I think you're probably paid. You have to say that. Do you like it?
Yeah, I'm not paid by the Flames. I like the deal. I mean, you lock up a guy for 7 years in a city where a lot of guys don't want to sign long term. So I think his attitude is perfect. He wants to grow with this organization. He likes the direction. He likes the situation. They helped him grow at that time they sent him down to the minors. Last year, he was up and down all year long. He only played half the season in the NHL, and I know he didn't expect that. But in the long term, it was better for him because now, he was a guy who was only offensive. Now he can play a 200-foot game. They got him on in the last minute of the game. He'll be on in the last minute of every game of the season next year, whether they need a goal or they're trying to stop a goal. And that says all you need to know about a guy. The Flames have 2 right shot forwards, 2 in their organization, and so he's one of them. So when a guy says, I want to stay here long term, and you're in a city where a lot of guys say, I want to be here long term, you do whatever it takes to sign him up. I always point to Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was the same way. He loved Edmonton. He always wanted to stay there. Last time around, he signed a big, long deal. I don't know if the Oilers really wanted to pay that, but at the end of the day, you had to look at yourself and go, look, he's been a good soldier and he wants to stay. We have to keep him.
Yeah.
Yeah, tough to replace him. That's for sure.
All right. This was good. A lot of fun. came up with probably one of the best ideas of the month. I know the month is early. If we ever get bored, we'll do a podcast together just about traveling etiquette. And we'll put out one episode a month. Right?
Do you know what? Okay, our first episode will be entitled Gate Lice. Do you know what gate lice are?
No, go on.
Is it a brother of head lice?
No.
Oh.
Gate lice is the term that airline personnel refer to all those people who hover just waiting to be called for their zone. And a lot of them have no status whatsoever, so they're not supposed to board till the very end, but they clutter the whole area and they stick around right at the front and they annoy the hell out of everybody. That's gate lice. Episode 1, make sure you tune in.
Episode 2, we'll find Pantyhose Lady, and then we'll talk. And it'll be revealed that she was smuggling back in drugs. Watch, it was all a setup. She's just speaking of geniuses. What a segment today. All right, have a good weekend. We'll catch up with you Monday.
Cheers.
Okay.
Yeah.